How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Game week 1 is done and dusted, and as always, it delivered chaos, frustration, and a few surprises along the way. Some of our picks hit, some completely blanked, and already the FPL world is panicking with wild transfers flying in. But that's not how we roll. It's only 1 week gone, and the season is a marathon, not a sprint. In today's video, we're going to take a calm, measured look back at how my team actually performed in game week 1, what lessons we can take from it, and how I'm approaching game week 2. I'll walk you through my updated draft, starting with the goalkeeper and defense, then midfield and attack, and finally, the bench. I'll also show you 3 players I seriously considered transferring in and explain why I decided to hold off this week instead. So, if you're stressing after a rough start, this is the perfect video to reset, get some perspective, and go into game week 2 with a clear plan. All right, let's get into the draft, and as always, we start at the back with the goalkeeper. Sanchez keeps his spot between the sticks for me. Now, I did toy with the idea of swapping him out for Dubravka this week. Burnley at home to Sunderland is a fixture that really tempts me. It looks like a banker for a clean sheet. But when I actually thought about it, I didn't want to double up on Burnley just yet. They're still finding their feet in the Premier League, and while I think they'll be solid defensively over the season, putting too much faith in them this early feels a bit risky. So, Sanchez stays for now. He's proven he can deliver saves, he's reliable, and honestly, he gives me a little bit of peace of mind while I work out the rest of my squad. Now onto the defense. The first change I've made is to bring in Estev. Like I said, he covers that Burnley home fixture against Sunderland, and I like that angle a lot better than going all in with Dubravka. It gives me exposure to a decent clean sheet chance, but without putting all my eggs in the Burnley basket. He's also a player that looks nailed in the team, which is exactly what you want from your budget defenders. Joining him is Reijnders from Palace, who I really like this week at home against Nottingham Forest. Palace looks solid defensively in their opener, and Reijnders actually came away with a surprise clean sheet against Chelsea in game week 1. That gives me some confidence going into this game. The home fixture helps too. Selhurst Park is a tough ground for anyone to break down, and Forest aren't exactly known for being prolific away from home. Reijnders feels like a smart, low-risk play. And finally, Frimpong stays in. Now, he only managed a single point last week, but I'm not discouraged. We all know what kind of player Frimpong is: explosive, attacking, and capable of hauling from basically nothing. He was unlucky to miss out on the clean sheet by just 1 minute in game week 1, subbed off at 59. That's brutal, but it happens. What excites me is that Liverpool looks set to give him plenty of freedom down the flank, and I think over the course of the season, he's going to rack up both assists and goals. So yes, it's a bit of a risk with him still betting into the team, but it's one I'm happy to take for the upside he offers. So that's the goalkeeper and backline going into game week 2. Sanchez in goal, with Estev, Reijnders, and Frimpong as the 3 defenders. It's balanced, it's got some decent fixtures, and importantly, I'm not overcommitting to one team. I think that's a really important lesson early on. Spread your risk, especially when we still don't have a lot of data from this season yet. Moving into the midfield, and yes, it's unchanged. I'm rolling with the same 5 again, but let's break them down one by one. We start with Cole Palmer, away at West Ham this week. Now, if I'm being honest, Palmer is on thin ice. He blanked in that 0-0 against Palace last week, and for a player that expensive, you want to see some returns quickly. Don't get me wrong, he's still Chelsea's main man, he's still got penalties, but I'm not running a charity here. If he gives me another dead performance, He might find himself chopped from the team faster than Chelsea chop managers. Next up, Reijnders. What a start to the season. 10 points with a goal and an assist in last game week, and he's straight into the 11 again with Spurs at home. I said in pre-season he was going to be a steal at 5.5, and he's already proved that. Honestly, if you can get to him easily, you probably should. If not, don't rip your team apart. But let's just say, I wouldn't want to be sitting there watching him whole again without owning him. This guy is the real deal. Then we've got Cody Gakpo. Away to Newcastle is never an easy fixture, especially under the lights at St. James's Park. But Liverpool under Arne Slot have looked sharp. And with Diaz gone to Bayern, Gakpo is nailed for minutes. He got a goal last time, looked lively, and I'm backing him again. Worst case scenario, Newcastle defend well and I get 2 points. Best case, he nicks another return and proves to be one of the most underrated picks of the season. Either way, I'm happy to keep the faith. Next in line is Morgan Rogers, away to Brentford. Now, Brentford were awful in Game Week 1. Let's not sugarcoat it. If they roll out that same performance again, Rogers could absolutely profit. He didn't get much joy against Newcastle in his first game, but we all know there's talent there, and he's decently priced. It's the kind of pick you can be patient with, and this fixture looks like a really good chance for him to get on the board. And finally, Mo Salah, the king. He got me 16 points with the armband last week, but let's be honest, he didn't actually look that great. He was quiet for large stretches, then did what Mo Salah does, popped up in injury time, and ruined every non-owner's day. Classic. It's why you keep him. Even when he's not playing well, he's still finding a way to score points. Newcastle away this week should be a test, but I'm never betting against Mo. Ever. So that's the midfield. Palmer, Reijnders, Gakpo, Rogers, and Salah. It's a nice balance. A couple of premiums, a couple of budget gems, and Reijnders sitting there reminding me why it pays to trust your gut in preseason. All right, up top we've got the front two, Mateta and Watkins. Starting with Mateta, he's at home to Forest this week, and honestly, this feels like a big one for him. Last week against Chelsea, it was always going to be tough to get much joy. He still had chances, but no end product, and he did his usual trick of picking up a yellow card because, well, he's Mateta. But this week, Forest at home is a completely different prospect. It looked really solid defensively in preseason, sure, but they're not bulletproof. Palace at Selhurst Park will always create something, and if Mateta's on the end of it, he could easily turn those 1-point frustrations into a double-digit haul. So, I'm keeping the faith. Then we've got Ollie Watkins, away to Brentford. Now, Watkins blanked in Game Week 1 against Newcastle, but context is everything. Villa were down to 10 men for a big chunk of the game. He was still getting into good positions, he just didn't have the service. And with Watkins, you always know the goals will come. He's as reliable as they come in FPL. He ticks over week after week, and I'm not about to jump ship after one blank. Brentford away isn't the easiest fixture, but they looked shaky last time out. And if Villa get their rhythm back, Watkins could easily find himself back on the score sheet. So, yeah, the front two stay as they are. One with a decent home fixture in Mateta, one with a tricky but very beatable away opponent in Watkins. Not the most glamorous front line on paper, no Haaland, no Isaac, no flashy names, but both of these guys can deliver, and they give me the balance I need elsewhere in the squad. Remember, it's about the team as a whole, not just star power up top. Now, let's have a quick look at the bench, because as always, it's more important than people give it credit for. Starting with Dubravka. He actually started in Game Week 1, which was a bit of a surprise, but a very welcome one for us. This week he's got Sunderland at home, which is about as juicy a fixture as it gets for Burnley. The temptation was definitely there to start him, but I just didn't want to double up on Burnley's defense. Still, It's great to know I've got a live starting 4.0 keeper sitting there ready if anything happens to S. Sanchez. Next up is Mark Guiu, still yet to get any minutes, which isn't a shock. I didn't bring him in expecting fireworks from the get-go. He's there as a budget enabler, but I'll be keeping a very close eye on Sunderland's lineups in the next couple of weeks. If he nails down a spot, a 4.5 forward who actually plays is absolute gold in FPL. Then we've got Milinkovic and Anderson. Both solid defenders, both capable of picking up clean sheets over the season, but they're sitting this one out. Anderson's got Manchester United at home, and honestly, I don't love that matchup. Yes, United are a bit hit and miss, but you don't want to be relying on a clean sheet against them. And Milinkovic, well, he's up against Palace. And since I'm starting Mateta, I don't exactly want my defender marking my forward. So both of them take a seat this week. So overall, not a bad bench at all. Dubravka gives me security in goal. Guiu is one to monitor, and the defenders are reliable depth when the fixtures line up. It's not flashy, but it's exactly the kind of bench you want at this stage of the season. Safe, flexible, and with potential upside. Alright, let's finish things off by looking at 3 players I debated bringing in this week. First up, Antoine Semenyo. And look, I can hold my hands up here. I might have made a mistake not starting the season with him. 2 goals against Liverpool, 15 points, and he looked absolutely electric. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with Palmer doing, well, Palmer things. It's classic FPL, isn't it? We all spend weeks planning, tinkering, thinking we've cracked it, and then bang, the guy you left out holes. Now, am I rushing to get Semenyo in? Not quite. But he's firmly on the radar, and if Palmer blanks again, let's just say I might be having some awkward conversations with my transfer button. Next is a big one, Erling Haaland. He does what Haaland does. 2 goals, 13 points, and a reminder to everyone why he's one of the most owned forwards in the game. The guy's basically a cheat code. Every week you don't own him, you're watching City with your hands over your eyes, hoping it's not another hat trick. Spoiler, it usually is. Now, I went without him on purpose. I wanted to spread funds, I wanted Salah, I wanted a balanced squad. And honestly, I still don't regret it yet. But let's be real. It's only a matter of time before the lack of Haaland starts to feel like playing Russian roulette with 5 bullets in the chamber. And finally, the new guy, Matheus Cunha, freshly signed for Manchester United. Now, no attacking returns in his debut against Arsenal, but let's be fair, that's one of the hardest fixtures you can get. What I did see, though, was energy, movement, and a real determination to make a mark. He looked like he was trying to prove a point, and if he nails that number 10 role at United, we could be looking at a bargain FPL asset. Plus, it's not often you can say United signed a striker who actually moves around. Sorry, Haaland. So yeah, those are the 3 names I considered: Semenyo, Haaland, and Cunha. All exciting in their own ways, but for now, I'm rolling the transfer. It's still only game week 2, and as much as I'd love to chase points, I keep reminding myself it's a marathon, not a sprint. And also, I'd quite like to keep my sanity for at least another week. And that wraps it up for my game week 2 draft. Like I said, no transfers this week. Boring, yes. Sensible, also yes. Sometimes the best move in FPL is to just do nothing. Sit on your hands and hope your players remember how to play football. Good luck to everyone going into the weekend. May your captain actually show up. May your defenders not get subbed off in the 59th minute. And may none of us have to watch our 4.0 bench fodder outscore our premiums ever again. If you enjoyed this one, drop a like, hit subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you after game week 2 with either a big smile or a list of excuses. Probably both. See ya.